Okay, we're starting out in a child's pose so that we can get the low back to maybe release a little bit. So if your low back feels tight and it kind of resists, just take your knees wide and that should give you a little extra space. So come on down, forehead down. Allow your upper body to be really heavy toward the ground. And let your hips be really heavy on your heels. So if you feel them coming up, that's not a problem, but move them as if they would come down. And we're just going to start to settle in and let gravity kind of pull us down for a few minutes. And we'll be breathing deeply the whole time. And taking a few minutes to be still. Intentionally transition from life off of your mat into this really special space where we're really aware. We feel and we notice each breath in. We are present as each exhale happens. And we're just going to lengthen the breath and be aware of all the sensations that attend it. Cultivate kind of a roar in your ears of the breath, that ujjayi, victorious breath. Sounds like a ocean or a wind roar. It's a warming breath, so you might feel your body kind of warming up and opening, but really we're also massaging all the tissues of your torso and your back and your spine and your organs. Pay attention to the movements and the actions of the breathing muscles. Notice the diaphragm moving down on the inhale, puffing open your belly toward the floor. Notice the diaphragm pulling up towards your ribs on the exhale, pulling the belly button into your spine. So you can use gravity here to really allow your belly to puff open. It's kind of nice to just release, make a big balloon belly, and then exhale to pull it in. I think in our culture, we are kind of taught not to just have a big open Buddha belly sometimes, but it's nice to release belly tension. And let's start to wake up the upper body a little bit. So in your child's pose, start to walk your hands out away from your hips. And you can start to open up your upper body toward the floor. Keeping your forehead down if you like. Maybe you start to lift your elbows and kind of rock one armpit at a time closer to the floor. Okay, feeling the chest, maybe opening up a little bit. And if you want to deepen and kind of intensify this chest and heart opening, you can press down into your fingertips and lift your palms as well. And we can really get some nice twisty movements building in the spine here. All right, just starting to wake up that spine. And then let's take a little side bend here. So back to center, just pause. Both arms nice and long and strong. And we'll walk all the hands out to the left and take a big side stretch into that right side. So drop your forehead, drop your hips. And find the right side is broad. And intentionally use your breath to open up all the spaces between your right ribs. Imagine maybe that you have gills there. You could breathe into and out of your rib gills. And then we can further deepen this and add a twist, sliding the right arm under the left. Allow your right shoulder to come all the way down, right ear down, long spine. Maybe this is enough. You can also use the right fingers on the floor to gently deepen the twist. Breathe into the whole back body here, all of that big stretch of muscle under your shoulder blades. Maybe the left hand reaches up here. And you can kind of think of trying to open your arms up to the ceiling. Maybe that left hand drops across your back and you just maybe grab your right thigh. Big breath here, long spine. Move your belly a lot. Big belly inhale. Strong belly exhale. And then take your time releasing all of this. Untangle yourself. Bring yourself back through center. And let's do the other side. So walk the hands out to the right. Drop your head. So now you're breathing deeply into your left side. So use your inhales and exhales. Imagine gills between your ribs. And really grounding your hips and your hands here helps give you a little extra oomph in that side stretch. Almost like you're gently trying to push the floor away. Okay, and that pushing the floor away action is such a helpful one in any yoga posture. You can always just think about your relation to the earth and give a little resistance. Maybe combine this with the twist. We have the left arm sliding under, left shoulder down, looking to the right. Lengthening your spine is so important in a twist. So remember to keep the tailbone and the top of your head moving away from each other. Okay, maybe you start to open your arms wide, like you're trying to give the ceiling a hug. Make sure to do your best to keep your neck long here on all sides. Maybe the right arm drops across your back. You grab your left thigh. So lengthen your spine. A few more breaths here. Think of pressing the floor away. All right, take your time untangling yourself. Let's bring it back through center. Okay, and from here, bring yourself up to hands and knees. You can bring hands back under shoulders. Press the hips up, knees under hips. Okay, and that was kind of a long time in child's pose, so maybe we'll circle the hips and shoulders out a little bit. So circles, just kind of gently stirring all your joints around here. And take them back the other way. All right, I'll meet you back at center. Let's get the spine a little bit more warm and mobile. So cat-cows, gripping with your strong hands. Elbows move in toward each other. So your upper body is active. Belly button lifts in towards your spine to keep your low back safe as you begin to extend and flex your spine. So inhale for the extension. Heart pulls forward. We're lifting the belly button so the heart unrolls. Then exhale, push the floor around your spine, maybe shake your head. Okay, so we get a great stretch across the front of the body for the inhale. So really enjoy and make the most of that Back of the body peels open on the exhale. So take a little extra time there. Spread open the space between your shoulders. So take a few more cat-cows. Really dive in and intentionally release all the places along your spine that might hold tension. Okay, maybe one more round. And then the next time you extend your spine. So the next time you roll your heart forward and pull it between your arms, okay, arching into your upper back, hold it right here. Lift that belly button and see if you could pull the heart more forward. Take a full breath in and out. And now exhale here, push the floor away, round your spine. We're going to take a hold here and a full breath in and out into the back body. And then I'll meet you back up at a flat back. Let's take that right knee, pull it forward and step it outside, right foot outside your right hand. And we'll scooch the left knee back a little bit. Maybe just find a comfy spot for that left knee. And let's just rock the hips forward and back a few times. Just kind of gently opening up the front of the left leg, back of the right. So feel free to put a really nice flex in that right ankle. And gently activate your legs against the ground. So we're lengthening tissues, which means that we want to activate. All right, next time we come forward back with that right foot on the floor in a low lunge, let's take a moment to twist it out. So hips are as low as you'd like them to be. Legs are gently resisting the ground. We're going to reach up with the right hand and pause here and just breathe. So we're really reaching up and open. The bottom arm is bent softly at the elbow as well as the top, and they're reaching away from each other. So make a big space across your chest. Your spine is nice and long. And your legs are active. So you can hang here with the back knee down, or you can lift the back knee and spice it up a little bit, okay? Really your choice. We're taking a few more breaths here, and let's combine this posture with a little bit of movement. So on your next inhale, could you peel open your chest even more, twisting open? With your exhale, bend your right elbow and see if you can bring it towards your left wrist. Just see how close you get. Doesn't have to touch, okay? Feel free to really bend into that left elbow and sink a little lower. Come back up on the inhale. Big breath in. Peel open your chest. Big exhale. Elbow to wrist. Go low. Do that a few more times. So find expansion on the inhale, expansion across your chest, expansion across the back body on the exhale. Keep it breathing. Keep moving to wringing out your spine here, warming up your legs. Okay, nice movement, nice total body movement. So next time you reach up with that right hand, pause right here, and let's make this a little more interesting. So we're going to add an element. Whether you have your back knee down or up, you can stay right there. It's going to work either way. Either way, point your right toes to all point at the right. So you pick up that right foot, point it to the right, and roll into the outer edge of your left foot. So you can do this with the knee down as well. You would just be on the outside of your knee, okay? So either way, settle in. You are in a fallen warrior, I think this is called. So reach out long with that right hand. See if you could make a big shape over your head. Take a big breath in and a big exhale into that right side. Okay, now let's move a little bit here. So what happens if you push the floor away and try to extend a little bit into that right leg? So you lift your hips, okay? And then what happens if you drop the hips almost all the way to the ground? So kind of play around with that range. You can lift high on the inhale, sweeping the right arm overhead. You can drop low on the exhale, almost touching down, but not quite, reaching the right hand back. Close your eyes, maybe find a few more rounds, just like this, nice and easy. Big movement in your shoulders. Okay, maybe one more big breath in. And when that right hand is back up by the front of your space, go ahead and drop it. Okay, we'll drop the back knee if it was up, back to hands and knees. Let's take them wide and circle it out. Notice any differences between right and left side, hips, shoulders. Both ways, okay, both directions of circling, of course. And then bring it back to center. Let's get the left foot forward by the left hand. And we'll rock it forward and back for a moment, just finding a little extra warmth and mobility in the hips and hamstrings. So as the back of the left leg begins to open up a little bit, you can flex the left ankle and let the calf open up when you pull back. All right, we give the legs a little chance to warm up, and now we're ready to settle into that lunge. So allow the hips to drop just as low as you like, and we'll turn this into our twisty lunge. First, we want to make sure to give the floor a little bit of resistance, right? We don't want to sink into the legs if we're lengthening tissues. So resist the floor just enough, and then grounding into that right hand, little bend in the right elbow, reach up with the left. And I will spin around to meet you here. So lengthen that spine. Okay, think of bending in both elbows and actively peeling open the chest with each breath. So we can keep this more gentle with the back knee down. Maybe spice it up and lift the back knee. Okay, you can always kind of toggle between those two options. Breath here, really peeling open your chest, keeping your legs strong so that you release in that left outer hip and the front of the right. Okay, so maybe we start to add that twisting movement here. So on your inhales, you're big and tall up here in your twist. Chest open, looking up. On your exhales, you bend that left elbow and draw it towards your right wrist. Bend the right elbow, drop low as you want to go. Inhale to bring it up and open, twist. Exhale to close it up. Okay, let's take a few more just like that. Find a rhythm. Maybe close your eyes. All right, maybe one more. And then next time you reach up, hold it right there. And we'll transition into that fallen warrior, okay? So first thing we can do is we can point the left toes out to the left, coming into the outer edge with that left foot. And then if you do a little hop, you can hop onto the outer edge of that right foot. And take some time to arrange yourself so that it feels nice, especially on the outer edge of your right hip and your left hamstring. So start to play around with how much you can move the shoulder. There's one element, is this big shoulder movement here, okay? And also how much you can move the leg. So pushing the floor away, you lengthen the back of the left leg. Dropping toward the floor, you lengthen the outside of the right hip. So play around with this range, breathe, and only go as far as seems right, as feels good. Feel free to linger. Maybe 2 more times, just like this. Such a nice, relaxing movement for that whole body, okay, big body experience. Next time that left hand comes around front, we're going to drop it. Let's drop the back knee and come back to hands and knees. Okay, again, let's take the hands and feet wide. Circle it out. Both directions. And then from here, let's get up off of the hands for a little while. Just let the spine hang. So tuck your toes, lift your knees, and you can walk your hands back towards your feet. And let's just take a little time to hang. So put a really nice bend in your knees. Let your head hang. And maybe swaying here. Make sure your hands, or at least your fingertips, are on something so your upper body isn't bouncing. But we want to think of the hip creases being really soft and your upper body hanging so low. All right, we're going to roll up really slowly. So start to ground into your heels, okay? Stacking one vertebra at a time as you roll up on your inhale. Reach up really super tall. Maybe lift your heart a little extra. And exhale, drop it into a chair squat. So tailbone down, think of the heart trying to go up at the same time. Inhale all the way up to a really tiny little back bend. And exhale here, hinge at your hips, big fold, come all the way down. Inhaling here, walk forward to a plank. If your hands can just come all the way forward. And exhale here, lower yourself all the way down to the floor. Little cobra on your inhale. So press your tailbone toward the floor, lift your heart toward the ceiling. And exhale here, all the way down. Tuck your toes. And you can come up through hands and knees here. And this time, just walk your feet to your hands. Again, another forward fold. Take some time here, bending your knees, hanging and swaying. Noticing especially your low back here. How the spine feels on the left and on the right. And then as you're ready, let's roll up again. So same idea, press into your heels. Inhale, stack yourself up. Lift your heart up top, a little back bend here. Down into your chair for your exhale. So drop your hips. Think of lifting your toes and your heart as your hips go down. Inhale up to stand, little back bend. And exhale, hinging at your hips, big fold all the way down. Okay, halfway up on your inhale, think of unrolling your spine. Big fold on your exhale. Palms are down. Inhale and step it back to plank. Exhale, slowly lower down. Okay, one little cobra on your inhale. Tailbone down, heart up. All the way down on your exhale. You can tuck your toes, come up through hands and knees. And one more time, walk your hands back to your feet. One more forward fold here. We'll just do that same little vinyasa just to get the joints coordinated and warm. But take another breath or two just to hang. Let the backs of your legs and the back of your body just open up. Okay, ready to roll up? Here goes. Inhaling, push into your heels, stacking your vertebrae. Come on up. Heart lifts, tiny back bend. Into your chair on your exhale, lift your toes and your heart. Inhale to stand, little back bend. Exhale to fold. Halfway up. Big fold, exhale. All right, your palms are down here. We're going to inhale and walk hands forward to a plank again. Exhale again, slowly lower yourself down. Okay, inhale, here is your cobra. And we're going to take a few more cobras. So exhale to roll it down. And inhale to roll it up. Take it maybe 5 or 6 more cobras. So your cobra can be a really small, kind of a gentle, just a lift of your heart as you lift your heart up and then set it down. Okay, but you can also experiment with pulling more on your hands. So your upper body strength is really special, an important role in cobra, because if you grip the mat and pull back on your hands like you're trying to climb up a wall, it really helps to lift and extend your spine rather than just to crunch it. So make sure you're always pulling up into a cobra instead of pushing. Okay, now next time you come up into your cobra, settle into a cobra that you can hold without your hands. Okay, I call it sustainable cobra. So maybe just a gentle lift in your heart, a baby cobra. You call it lifting your palms, floating them by your ribs. So find some breath here. Find that your tailbone is really pointing downward. Your belly button is really lifting. So your low back feels very safe and your glutes are on, okay? Maybe even gently press the tops of your feet down to encourage the tailbone to point down. And see if you could slide your shoulder blades down and toward each other. Maybe even the hands reach back here. You can swim your palms to face out and your thumbs to point up. Keep breathing. So we're really warming and using the tissues of your back here. So you're going to feel it all light up. Keep that low back safe by lifting the belly button and pointing your tailbone down. And if you choose, you can lift your legs here too. So everything lifting as that low back is really super grounded. Big breath here. So you can stay here, okay? Or you can play around with bending one leg, maybe reaching a hand back for the foot. Okay? You can even ground one side as you do that on the other side. But take a few more breaths. I want you to just kind of play with this shape. Maybe try the other side. Try bending the other leg, reaching back with the other hand. Maybe you drop one side. Okay. Find some nice freedom in the front of your body here. Maybe even join your hands together behind you and lift your heart. Ground that tailbone here. Lift your belly button. Let all this expansion happen between your shoulders. Maybe one more big breath here in your really strong back cobra, locust, floating shape. And then release it completely. Just rest your cheek on the ground. Take some big breaths into all the strong tissue of your back body. Switch cheeks, take a few breaths there. Notice your glutes, your rib cage muscles, your shoulder muscles, everything. All right, as you're ready, hands back underneath your shoulders. Go ahead and press yourself up to hands and knees. So from here, come to your seat. So come to a seat, and we'll take the legs out front. So that was a nice back bend, really warmed all the tissues of the back body. And now is a really good time for us to twist because the back is so warm and we can really make the most of it. So let's pull the right foot up and in, and you can just take it to the outside of your left thigh and we'll build a little twist. So first of all, it's nice to just sit up tall and establish length in the spine before we even begin to twist, because length is one of our primary concerns when we're twisting. And ground into your hips. Feel the length of the spine. Feel free to stay here, okay? Or just the left arm can hold the right leg and the right fingers can come behind you. And you can look over the right shoulder. So think long spine on the inhale. Belly button to spine on the exhale. So really pull the belly button in. Think of twisting from belly button up. Okay, I really want you to make a big chest open to the ceiling here. And maybe if you want to deepen this a little bit, you take the left elbow to the outer right knee. And you can use it to go a little further into your twist. But make sure the hips are heavy. Long spine, inhale. Belly button to spine, exhale. Okay, let's roll ourselves out of that a little bit, okay? But let's stay on this side because I want to keep working into this right hip and low back. So let's take the right knee very close to the left knee. We can think of stacking the knees, okay? And so we can call this a half cow face pose, and you have the option to stay in this more gentle option where you're maybe feeling a little opening in your right outer hip. Or if you want to move a little more deeply into that right outer hip, you might choose to bend the left knee as well, taking your feet close to your hips and sit down between your feet with your knees stacked. So this would be the deeper option, and the left leg extended would be the gentler. So please experiment and interpret, choose the one that's more appropriate. But either way, no matter where you are, sit up tall. Take a breath. If you need to back out, you can drop your fingers behind you and just kind of back out because it can be intense in the hips sometimes. But if all is going well, let's bring the left fingertips out to the left and just press down into them, really dropping into that right hip. The right arm can come up and then over to the left. And we have this really big shape opening up into the right side. So we'll take some time here. So notice here you can really press down into your left hand, really push the floor. Use that to expand into the right side and ground into the right hip. Okay, at the same time, to get that opening in your right outer hip, you can start to press your legs into the floor. We'll take a few more breaths here. Remember to be long in your neck too. And now we can start to open up more into the back of the right side. Go ahead and drop your right fingers next to your left fingers. Feel the whole right back peel open. Breathe into it. Okay, we're twisting, so drop into that right hip, lengthen your spine. Use your belly button on the exhales. Okay, you can start to walk your hands around toward the front of where you are sitting. Okay, so like you just drew part of a circle around yourself. Keep using your hands to drop your hips low. And breathe. You can walk the hands further away or closer. You're always kind of adjusting these postures to suit your your practice. Keep pressing the floor down with your legs. That'll really activate in your hips. Okay, take your time. We're going to keep traveling on this circle that we're making over to the right now. So hands travel out to the right. And maybe you kind of experiment with how far you can comfortably take them. Just find that comfortable spot. Be there. Breathe into the left side of the back. So you feel that whole left back now. Ground the left hip, long spine. Exhales from the belly button. Okay, we're going to come up with this left hand now, a little bit of symmetry, just opening up into the left side, grounding in that left hip. Big breath here. And as you're ready, press yourself back up to center. And we're going to switch sides. So whether you had your bottom leg bent or straight, we've all been on the same journey. So go ahead and kick your legs out, lean back, and take a few windshield wipers. How do your hips feel? How about your back? And so now we're just going to switch sides. So now we'll have the right leg will be the leg that's out long in front, and the left foot will come to the outside of the right leg. So we'll build a twist from here. Go ahead and sit down heavily on each hip and sit up tall. That's our first task. If you need to bend the right knee slightly, no problem. Okay. Sometimes it helps to sit up taller if you bend a little in the knee. And then as you're ready, the right arm can hold the left leg. Use your left fingers behind you. And you can just look over your left shoulder. Long spine, inhale, grounding into your hips. Belly button to spine, exhale. Okay, maybe deepen your twist, right elbow outside of left knee. Maybe one more breath here, it feels nice. Okay, roll out of that twist. All right, hopefully it feels nice. Massage in your spine with that twist. So from here, we're going to transition to a half or full cow face or Gomukhasana posture by putting the knees close together. So you can keep the right leg long and just kind of move the left foot towards your right hip. And this, you can do all the things that we're about to do from here. Or a little deeper in the left hip, you can bend that right knee. So you just think of putting your knees close together and sitting down between your feet. All right, so just however makes sense for you to be here. Either way, ground both of your glutes equally heavy. So make sure the left hip is a little extra heavy. And then just sit up tall. Remember, you can always back out. And you can always move more deeply into it by activating your legs against gravity. So like you're trying to push down against the floor. Okay? So we'll do the same twisting movement that we did on the other side, but in reverse. So let's drop the right fingers first, out on the right, just wherever you want them, and start to push into that right hand, grounding in your left hip. Left arm up. And just take a moment breathing into your long spine. All sides of the spine are long, especially the neck. Ground in the left hip. Okay, now adding some twist into this, we can drop the left fingers by the right, starting to twist open that back body. So ground your hips, lengthen your spine. Use your breath in any space that feels stuck. All right, keep that big breath moving. We'll start to walk the hands on the circle around to the front part of your imaginary circle. Okay, put them wherever you like them. Ground into all of your leg parts, so really pushing down. Breathe here. And then we'll continue on the circle journey over to the left. So starting to twist in the opposite direction now. Ground your hips, lengthen, breathe into the back. Remember, your long spine is important. And your belly button to spine exhales are important as well. From here, let's finish this off with some symmetry. Okay, reaching the right hand up and over to the left. Ground in both hips. Any leftover tension in that right side, you can peel it open here. And as you're ready, press yourself back up and out of this. And then we can lean back, kick out the legs, and maybe shake them out a little bit more. All right, so that was some really great work in the hips. Gomukhasana is a powerful opener for your outer and inner hip. From here, let's take both legs out front. Both legs out long in front of you. And just as when we were in the seated postures before, if you need to bend your knees so that you can sit up tall, then that's perfectly acceptable, okay? No reason to force yourself to feel really unsupported if that's the case. So nice tall posture. Bones are really strong, pushing down into the floor. So all your legs are pushing down. Even if your fingers want to push down a little bit, that's great. And just sit up nice and tall. And go ahead and close your eyes. I want you to feel how your tailbone is pointed straight at the center of the earth. Your belly button pulls in and upwards slightly. Your ribs rise and fall just over your hips. Your shoulder blades slide down the back as they maybe help lift the rib cage upward slightly. And if you put a little tuck in your chin, you can feel the back of the neck release that much more. Let's keep a little activity in the tops of the legs so your quads are active here, allowing your hamstrings to release a little bit. And with your longest spine, take a big breath in. As you exhale, just move your heart in the direction of your toes and just stop when you feel like your spine is starting to round. Pause right there and inhale back up to a seat. Tall spine, legs pushing down. And we'll do it a few more times. So exhale, walk your heart forward until your spine starts to round. Inhale, bring it back up. Maybe 3 or 4 more, quiet and slow. Nice and easy. Just feeling your core working here to fold you, so intrinsic strength with your fold. And even though your spine is slightly rounding, Keep a feeling of extension as your heart does its best to move forward. Okay, next time you do fold forward, let's pause there. Hands are on the floor somewhere, maybe under your shoulders, okay? And think of gently kicking down into the floor here. So your quadriceps are engaged, the top of your leg is engaged, the back of your leg, your whole leg is engaged. We think of the heart moving toward the toes here. Then you can stay with your hands down. If you want to drop your head, go for it. Just keep a little length in the front and sides and back of your neck, so always long. You might find yourself coming down to your elbows. Continue to breathe length into the spine, space into your back. Maybe one more big breath in here. And as you are ready, press yourself back up and out of this. Okay, take your hands behind you here. So that was a really powerful fold. Bring your feet in a little closer to you. Point your fingers out to the sides, and we'll counter that powerful fold with a nice little opener. So lift your hips high here, press down into the floor. And keep it a nice tuck in your chin. You might drop your head. Think of the shoulder blades lifting your rib cage up. You can lift your hips as high as you'd like. It should feel nice in the front of your shoulders and the front of your hips. See if you can come down really slowly and fluidly. And then take your fingertips so that they're just underneath your hips. So you're just sitting on your very fingertips. See if you can just drop down to your elbows from there. And you could keep your legs bent or extend them a little more. I like to have at least a little bend in my knees for this. Okay, so press down into your elbows. You want to feel your shoulder blades scooping upward. So use your shoulder blades like salad scoops. Press your heart up. And your rib cage can be really big and open here. Your neck can too. So tuck your chin into your neck and allow your head to drop if it feels okay. But make sure that the back of your neck is long too. All right, it doesn't just crunch up. So breathe here. Big chest space. The more you tuck your chin, okay, the more you might be able to extend in the back of your neck. And that's a really nice release for our hardworking necks. All right, maybe one more big breath here in your fish pose. And when you're ready to come out, pull your chin back in towards your chest. Move your elbows out to the side and come on down. All right, once you come down, let your shoulder blades scooch underneath your heart. And your palms flip up, open toward the ceiling. Knees bent, feet by your hips. And we'll just kind of rock side to side. Windshield wipers. Okay, notice anything in your low back. And from here, let's just pause when the knees come back to center. Take all the legs up in the air. Right, all two of them. And we'll circle the ankles out here. It's nice to just get your legs up in the air at least once a day. Circle your ankles the other way. We want to get all that fluid and blood and lymph to come back down toward the torso. Give your heart a break. Let's do some figure eights with the ankles. And figure eight the other way. I like to go until my calves and my shins get a little bit warmer. All right, so from here, bend your knees, pull them back in by your chest, and we're just going to drop them to the right. You can use the right hand to hold the top knee and look to the left. A few really nice big breaths into your chest here, rounding your shoulder blades, lifting your heart, and using your strong belly to exhale. Let's bring it through to the other side. Okay, so bring the legs through center, and we'll just drop them on the left. Grab a knee with the left hand and look to the right. Shoulder blades down, heart up. Strong belly exhale. All right, let's roll it back through center. And from here, come down to your resting posture so you can lengthen your arms and legs into Shavasana or any other resting posture that you like. But here, just completely surrender all control for a moment, okay? Maybe scoot your shoulder blades a little underneath your heart so you can feel a little bigger in your chest. Let your feet flop open, your knees are soft. And let go of all control over your breath. Just let it run wild. Let it go. Let go of all control over your body. Let your jaw hang slack and open. Feel your eyebrows melt. Your eyes sink back heavy in your head. Let go all control of your thoughts. Just let them run. Watch them like you would watch clouds or birds. Again and again, bring your awareness back to this moment, to experiencing the details and the sensations of this exact moment. What do you hear? What do you feel? What do you know? Continue to call yourself back to the breath and the experience of being here now. And as many times as your thoughts pull you in, bring yourself back to the moment. Neither past nor future is real here. And please keep resting just like this for as long as you can. At least 5 minutes is ideal. and longer is better. This is where I will leave you today. Thank you so very much for practicing with me and for taking good care of yourself.